Hey, welcome to the Propelling Business Excellence podcast. I'm very excited. I have Sam Medwid. He's the CEO of 3M and Ultra Grip. So with this, thank you very much, Sam, for joining us today. Could you tell us a little bit more about your business and what you do?
Yes, thank you very much for having me, Vibha. I'm excited to be here as well. So 3M Tool and Machine is a machine shop and a manufacturing company. We also have our own product line marketed under the name Ultra Grip International.
Mm-hmm.
We were founded in 1971 and we're a family-owned business. My dad was one of the founders and I'm the second generation in charge of the company.
That's excellent. So how did you get, so you mentioned you're second generation, but what started this whole entrepreneurial journey?
So 3M is a family business. So for me, my path was more about continuing and evolving a legacy that we had created in 50 years in business before I officially took over.
Uh-huh.
My parents' entrepreneurial spirit and ability to solve complex problems was always a huge inspiration to me. Even if I didn't see myself joining the business early on, after high school, I took off for the mountains and I was working in hotels and skiing 100 days a year and, trying to figure out my next step. But fate intervened and I got drawn back to Michigan and back into the family business and ended up falling in love with it. One of the big turning points was actually the week after I began formally running the company. It was March 4th when that began, and 1 week later, the COVID pandemic became a big news event in the world. And when the stay-at-home orders for non-essential workers were issued, our employees were heading to the parking lot. They were saying, "We just make pumps, and that's not essential." And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And really lit a fire in me because I realized then that we had become disconnected from the purpose and pride of our work and what we were doing. We had to convene the employees, explain that the products we're making, when they were talking about pumps, are natural gas compressors that are used in transmission and processing of natural gas. And this is something that powers the fabric of society. I mean, the energy industry couldn't be more critical to the health of our nation. And we needed to restore that connection or we were never going to be able to produce a product that we were truly proud of.
Hmm.
It also clarified what kind of company I wanted to lead. Our mission at 3M is to support the people and companies who build the world and make our country run by delivering precision components and rock solid reliability. And we live by our 4 core values, which are very direct. They're give a shit, be versatile, create solutions, and have fun. And that's our filter for hiring, firing, reprimanding, rewarding the kind of customers and vendors we want to associate with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really helping to build the team that we want.
That's great. So your existing products, were you able to call them as essential or you had to change some things in your business?
Absolutely. The natural gas compressors is one area that's absolutely essential, and all our vendors were deemed essential, and we support many other critical industries in this country.
Oh, I see. Okay.
From
Great.
aerospace
So
tooling
your
to
existing products were considered essential then.
absolutely.
Okay, great. That's amazing to hear that story that you fell in love, which you were not interested in before. That's amazing.
Yeah, I actually grew up with my mom kind of drilling it in my head that I didn't have any choices in life except to business one day, and I rejected that wholeheartedly. But time can change a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it took me a while to see the opportunity that I had here and truly understand it, but it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I hear that from my kids too. They don't want to take over my business. So so we'll see that where that goes.
Yeah, you need to let them figure it out on their own to some degree.
Yep. Yep. So I guess from your business perspective, what are some misconceptions about running a business?
So one of the biggest misconceptions is that the owner or the president should have all the answers, or the company. Couldn't be further from the truth. I realized very quickly that I didn't have all the answers, and that I was going to need to take advantage of the exceedingly smart people we had in the organization, bring more smart people in, and get them aligned and working together. And that was how we could really leverage what we have here, and create an environment where the best idea could truly win. Another myth is that once a business is established, that things run on autopilot. I grew up around this company, so I've always had a very deep respect for the behind the scenes actions that need to happen to keep things on track. Every day brings new challenges, whether it's workforce development, supply chain issues, equipment issues, or shifting customer expectations. We meet those challenges by staying transparent, curious, and using systems like EOS, or Entrepreneurial Operating System, to create structure and accountability. That framework helps everybody know where we're at and where we're going and how we're going to get there.
That's amazing. So I think there are two things you're mentioning here that you mentioned previously as well. One is that alignment, then direction. There's very few leaders understand it. So I'm glad that you understand that already. So that's a great leadership. Thank you for pointing that out.
Well, thank you.
And you're realizing that you have smarter people that you can leverage, right? And the second, you mentioned about the autopilot. So you're saying that businesses don't generally run on autopilot. You always have to be, right, working through the challenges to make sure that it's successful.
Absolutely. And that doesn't mean, you still have to look at things systematically and build systems with feedback loops that are going to promote, bring you back to the correct direction. But, the perfect solution today is not the perfect solution tomorrow. So there's always things to reassess, try to understand, and improve.
So it seems like, a lot of challenges, a lot of successes in the business, right? There's always a lot in the entrepreneurial journey. So how do you maintain your work-life balance?
Sure. So learning to deal with the stress of leading people is an ongoing journey for me. It did not come naturally. The biggest breakthrough for me was realizing that I had to create a place here that I could show up as myself and leave energized and, want to come back every day. And not only for me, but also for the kind of people I want on my team, so that they want to stay, not just for a paycheck, but because they feel heard and seen and challenged and supported. When that's working, it takes a ton of pressure off.
Yeah.
Beyond that, reflection is key. I try to regularly pause and ask what's working, what's not working. I realize that balance doesn't come from a perfect routine, but it comes from having clear boundaries, appreciating the good things that you have, and being okay with the fact that you can't do everything.
Yeah. So what are the challenges you have been having in the work-life balance? And this is a bit off script.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to know. I got interested and excited about what you were saying.
No, absolutely. There's just too many. It's hard to think of where to start. We've, and I mean, again, one of the things when it comes to challenges, one of the big things I learned early on as well, and that was part of my journey into taking on the business, is that despite all the problems we had, which when I came into the business, we had a lot, like every problem you can imagine, but there was still enough good things happening here that we were still in existence and still functioning. I mean, even if it was dysfunctional in a lot of ways, we were still alive. And I thought, well, if we can still function in any sense with all these problems, then just think if we can remove half the problems, what we could accomplish. And so I've learned to see those challenges as opportunities in the truest sense, because we've had, when it comes to low-hanging fruit, we had just every problem you can imagine.
Mhm.
And taking one bite at a time, we've been eating the elephant, and we got to a point where the changes and improvements started to compound, and while you weren't taking time to fix one problem, that frees you up to work on the next problem.
Mhm.
And so we're really starting to have compounding benefits.
Okay, that's great. So could you offer us a glimpse of what your future 1 to 3 year plans look like?
Absolutely. So over the next few years, we're focused on deepening our capabilities and tightening our systems. One of the big initiatives we have going on, actually very pressing right now, is our implementation of our new ERP system. We were on one system called Epicor for 20 plus years, and have been wrestling with it to get it up to speed with our business processes, and we haven't found the right recipe of support. So we decided with our re-implementation to take on a new system called Global Shop. And we're 8 months into the implementation, and go live is on Monday. So that is right at the front of our minds. And so one of the goals over the next year is to get that system, smoothed out, working optimally for what we want to do, and ready to grow. We're also working on elevating our Ultra Grip International brand. We're bringing it more into the fold with the 3M brand, and it's a great product line with a ton of untapped potential and a great reputation. And we're excited to give it the attention it deserves. Another big priority is leadership development. We're building a stronger bench of leaders out on our floor. We've really been developing the top leadership of the company, and now we're starting to spread that down. So we've been participating in a lot of leadership training. We've had actually a leadership book club that met every 2 weeks, and we've been doing a lot of activities around that, and we're really starting to see the benefits of that, where we've got leadership starting to take accountability and ownership of things happening on the floor.
Mhm.
Self-motivating to fix problems and keep moving forward.
Okay, that's great. Do you have any goals in terms of revenue or number of people increasing?
So yes, we do have those goals in place, but right now we're more focused on sustainable and scalable growth and profitable growth, optimizing the product mix. We've had in the last few years a ton of demand for our products. So again, we're getting smarter at identifying the top priority projects to go after, and aligning, everything from marketing to sales throughout the production process to smooth things out. And, the more we do that, the more opportunities we're able to take on. And we're looking at huge opportunities right now. Again, nice problem to have, but, there's more opportunities than what we can take on all at once. So we are working on assessing those and qualifying them, and
Mhm.
making a lot of progress in that field as well.
Okay. So, so you have quite a lot of 1 to 3 years goal. What obstacles do you anticipate encountering when you're trying to meet those goals?
Sure. So attracting and retaining skilled tradespeople remains one of our biggest challenges. It's no secret that young people have not been entering the industry like they used to, although we're starting to see some improvements there. Um, we are combating that with an intense focus on training, mentorship, and culture. We're also seeing rising expectations from customers, particularly around documentation, traceability, and digital integration. That's pushing us to raise our game, which is a good thing, but it requires ongoing investment in people and systems.
Mhm. So how do you plan to, I guess, address those challenges?
Sure. So with the skilled tradespeople, again, training has become one of the biggest focuses of the company. We've been really lucky to receive the Going Pro Talent Fund grant the last few years. And as a result, we're able to send just about every employee to formal training each year. In addition, we're formalizing our onboarding and training processes internally. We do youth outreach. We have multiple field trip groups from local high schools and community colleges, and we do a lot to work with them. We work on the advisory boards, and we're doing everything we can to get the word out about manufacturing, to attract more people, and develop the people we have. And we are one of our goals in over the next 1 to 3 years is actually to have an industry leading skill set, and we are well on our way to that. When it comes to dealing with customers, documentation, traceability, again, the new ERP system is a big part of that. It's going to allow us to have more accurate and up-to-date information, which helps us in communicating with our customers, understanding requirements from the quote phase all the way through shipment, and support after that. And taking big strides.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you got some funding to train, etc. And then, So how do you stay adaptable, I guess, and open to change and innovation?
So early on, I took a very hard line against that's the way we've always done it mentality. That approach was not serving us. And I knew from coming in and being able to see behind the scenes, I knew that what we were doing was not working. So anybody that was going to argue with that as their only justification, didn't stand a chance. So we made it clear early on. We spread the word that historical precedent is a data point. It can be relevant, but it is not on its own a justification for any action. And we need to look at everything we're doing, bring facts, bring data, and again, let the best idea win, not be attached to something because we're used to it or it was our idea. And that shift in mindset has been huge in our culture. Since setting that tone, we've been able to recruit and retain people who are energized by change and not threatened by it.
That's great.
To see ideas win over egos and to be in an environment where everything is on the table if it can make us better.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. That's a right way to basically set up your culture, right? So with this, I guess the last question that I have is, what advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs or the people who are facing challenges in the business?
I would say don't wait to have it all figured out. You will learn a lot more through action than by planning in circles. That said, surround yourself with a team that complements your weaknesses. Get comfortable asking questions. Set up regular rhythms of review, weekly, quarterly, annually, to give feedback and receive feedback and take that feedback to heart. Above all, protect your culture. You can fix a broken process, but rebuilding trust, pride, and ownership is a lot harder. Culture is the engine and it fuels everything you're doing.
Yeah, thank you very much again for being on our podcast. Really appreciate all the insights that you provided. I'm glad to see that you're building a culture that people want to come into. A lot of people don't think about it, right? A lot of people think about business owners as they are the leaders and they should have all the answers. So really enjoyed having this conversation. Thank you very much for being on our podcast.
Yeah, thank you for your time. I'm excited to be working with you and look forward to talking more in the future.
Thank you.